Hello, people, and welcome to our Live by Design live chat powered by Bettery Lab in our Bettery Hub channel. And today is an awesome Thursday. You know, one of the key things I love about Thursdays is looking forward for my live chats. And as you know, Live by Design is about helping people to empower themselves to live their life by their own design. And today, what we have decided is, after COVID-19, we have a lot of people who started embarking, into fitness, healthy living. They started, going for their exercise, for their runs, and so on. So what we have decided is today we're going to have an awesome and a special guest. Our guest today is Jason Na. He's the head coach or the head trainer and the founder of Real Fit. Now, he developed concepts for almost 15 years, with 15 years of experience, having ideas of want to be physically, imposing bodybuilding, then getting involved in multiple sports. So what he does is that, seeing individuals that were influenced by many diverse fitness programs. I mean, we are spoiled for choice at this moment, right? So I think what he focused on is to focus on people so that, those people who are affected by the sedentary grind, he started the Real Fit to be able to help people to make a difference, to start a healthy and fitness lifestyle. So without any delays, let me invite upon Jason.
Hello.
Hey, Jason.
Hi, what's up, man? Good morning.
Hey, Jason. Hey, thank you so much, Jason, for joining us on our Live by Design program and, amidst your busy schedule.
Oh, thank you, Sakti. Thank you, Bettery Lab. Good to see all you guys. Feel free to ask any questions.
Hey, definitely.
I'm just here to share more of my experiences, information, and anything. My takeaway is if I can help anybody who's watching this, I feel very good.
Don't worry. I mean, we have a lot of viewers looking at us, so I know definitely it'll be an awesome time. And Jason, once again, to our viewers, how I got to know Jason. I've known Jason for many years. I've seen him, when I was doing my rock climbing. I've seen him with a mutual group of friends, and then I've played futsal with him. And one thing I noticed about you, Jason, that you are, any sports you do, anything that's related to sports, I see that you are just like laser focused. A jovial guy at one moment, but the moment it comes to performance, you are like laser focused and you are like focusing on doing your best in each of that game or sport.
Yeah, well, it was a dream of mine since young to play in to represent a sport, to do it something very well. I mean, everybody's like, all of us have watched sports before. We see the glamour, but behind the glamour, there's always the preparation, the training, what they actually do, and what actually makes an athlete, and how they actually come about. Same in life, for all our careers, what we actually do, we also have to prepare. We got to make sure that we are in the right frame of mind, the right mode. So there has to be this laser focus and this ideas of like what actually makes an athlete, and this is something that is my kind of like a pet interest. I've always been wanting to be into sports, and it's a very cool thing now. We work with people, you see at the end of the day, you get your result, you get your trophy. It makes you feel very good.
I think that's the whole idea, right? Working towards certain results, you get the trophy, the results, and so on.
Yes.
So as we go on, I would like to tell to all our viewers, Jason is specifically here so he can make a difference and answer all your questions. So feel free to engage Jason with your questions through the comments. And Jason, I think he's mentally prepared, and I've told him that there'll be a lot of questions coming in, so do prepare to answer those questions. And in fact, Jason decided to also give you 1 or 2 tips for those of you who are looking into ways to be more effective. Am I right to say, Jason? While you are looking into a fitness lifestyle, simple tips along the way. So engage Jason. So Jason, let's perhaps talk about yourself. Your present role as the head trainer of Real Fit.
Okay. Currently, what we're doing, the reason why I started Real Fit was, to put it in a very short statement, is actually to change the game, to change the way people actually train. Right, because most of the time everybody's looking for the latest fitness fad. Now currently it's bar. It used to be yoga. Previously it used to be Pilates, and then it was previously it was HIIT, and everybody's jumping onto the bandwagon. But actually, if you look at movement from the prehistoric times, all of us, we're all born moving around. how do we actually use that movement and put it into our lifestyle that is actually authentic to us? That's the most important. There's nothing wrong doing yoga or bar, Pilates or Zumba. I even encourage some of my clients to actually go and dance. If they're like sedentary lifestyle, oh, I got no time to work out. Are you dating? Yes, I'm dating. Oh, why don't you go salsa dancing with your boyfriend? Or why don't you go line dancing with your husband, right? And it builds this interaction and this relationship rather than, oh, I got no time. And the only time I can put in inverted commas, the only time I can exercise is when I'm literally actually exercising. And people will start to say, oh, it's tedious, it's tiring, oh, it's a grind, I gotta wake up, I gotta walk, I gotta train. They look at Instagram posts and like, oh, I get very inspired, this guy. They look at The Rock, and The Rock, he trains very hard. I won't speculate whether he's on drugs or not, because there is no way that you can be able to look in that shape, train all the time and not feel fatigued and have no form of recovery. And we can get to that later. But the reason why I'm actually doing this is just to actually help people find and discover their fitness journey. I was inspired. I wouldn't say inspired. It resolved me because my grandmother, she actually passed away a few years ago. Many people will know that I was actually very close to her. She's been complaining of knee pain and knee problems. And in the early 60s, she started being on a wheelchair. And I'm 44 this year, right? 20 years more. And I still want to play football when I'm 75. Right? Wow. I still want to be fit and active. At least I can run around and I don't have to wake up in the morning like, oh, my knee hurts, my legs are busted up, these things, my life sucks because I cannot do anything. I'm always injured all the time. Your friends call you, hey, come, let's go out for and let's go for a walk. Let's go and play with your dogs. Oh no, my back's blown. I can't do anything. It gets on your nerves, and you want to be empowered to be able to do that. So she was in that state, and not only on the physical point where she's actually injured and incapable of walking, she suddenly become on a wheelchair, bedridden. After a while, the mind just goes, and things like dementia, all the mental diseases, Parkinson's, all these things will all start coming. So if there's no intervention from the beginning, right, you can't really age gracefully. You can't really prolong your life, or at least I'm a coward. Let's put it this way. I want to die pain-free. I don't want to die like, oh, ouch, my neck hurts. And then imagine you're lying in your bed and then you're dying and suddenly, oh, my neck hurts. And like, I can't go away peacefully because my neck hurts. And it's a stupid concept, but it's actually happening to everybody. My uncle, he passed away because he's obese. He used to be my size. And he passed away. Yeah, he used to be my size. He used to be a lifeguard. And and that is also one of the reasons why I got into it, because he put on weight. He became obese, and it's like every day I work, I go home, I eat, I sleep, I work, I go home, I eat, I sleep. He's a hairdresser. He's a hairdresser in Malaysia, and in Malaysia and in Ipoh, small town, people live life, and slowly it's like no purpose, and slowly he got bigger and bigger. And he died in his sleep. Family was very sad. And I told myself, why, as a fitness trainer, why didn't I try to intervene, or at least try to invoke my influence on him? And that kind of like got me started to from being wanting to be a bodybuilder and to an athlete. And then now it's like you want to help people everywhere. It's not just a specific group of people.
Listen, it's quite interesting. I myself, I'm in the risk management business and so on. And people always talk about, you help yourself, you have to protect yourself and so on. But I like, because a lot of fitness experts that I've talked to, they always talk about, being fit, having a toned body. And, of course, the health is always important. But I like the concept of, aging gracefully. I myself, I'm 44 as well, and I think this resonates.
You don't look 44,
and the biggest fear I always have is when I look at some of my peers, they know who they are, where they come in and everything at the age of 40 plus, and I look at them and say, look, I don't want to be that, and I want to keep myself in a certain level of fitness and to look good, to feel good, and as you said, age gracefully. So when I have my grandkids coming and say, let's go and play and run around, I'm still able to at the age of 70. You see, that's the aspiration that I look forward for. So I think that's really interesting when you're talking about aging gracefully, living healthy, and keeping yourself fit. And I've seen, being an ex-army regular, a lot of the fit guys, and after some time I look at them and say, hey, what happened to you? And true enough, is their lifestyle, they stopped, or their level of involvement in exercises stopped because of their work and everything. So it's interesting, a real fit starting. But Jason, 15 years of experience, what are the lessons you learned along the years to be where you are today?
I learned that no two people are alike. So whenever you train, whenever you exercise, even myself, I as a trainer, I have to put my hands up and apologize to some of my clients also. Previously, a lot of my friends, oh, he's a demon. Oh, he's a devil. Oh, I hate to train with him because I feel like shit after getting out. Oh, he makes me throw up. He makes me puke. Some people are quite sadists and they're like, oh, I want to go to Jason because I get a good workout. I get a hard workout. And those were the days where, you get your army, your PTI style of training and you actually torture you. And after that, I realized that where does it end? I might torture them. They might get a good workout, but is it sustainable? And yes, it might help get them to their fitness level faster, but at what cost? And people and nowadays we are actually having a lot more stresses in life. And worse off, we are not as active as we were before. 10 years ago, there was no iPhone. The iPhone was just coming out. 10 years ago, there were no computers, there were no massage chairs and stuff. And we had to use our hands and feet to actually do the things that we needed to do. Now we've got modern technology, which is actually very beneficial. But there's this paradox that we rely on it too much, that we totally ignore about everything else, you see. And it is by having that balance of knowing where we are and knowing what we have to be able to change and make our lives better. Instead of I just get into this ease of using all these gadgets and using everything to help me, but I don't remember my past or what happened, how I actually got about to be in this state.
And Jason, talking about this, right? Today, we see that there are a lot of fitness experts in the fitness industry. There are a lot of them. And I'm sure, I think about the time when you started 15 years ago, I think that was the beginning, right? The beginning era of fitness industry coming up, people being aware and so on. And, what inspired you to say, you just said, right, you wanted to make a difference, for people. But along your, what really inspired to say, hey, this is what I want to do, this is, was it because
I was okay, I'll put it this way. When I was, some of my friends would know, when I was in school, I was always being bullied. I was always being hammered there. I was like, it didn't feel good. I didn't like it. I'm sure some people will know in school and during those days, there were gangs and gangsters. And if you're not in a very good school and you play football on the field, if you can't hold your own, you're going to get eaten up. And so on the basketball court and stuff. And after a while, I realized that, hey, maybe I should start lifting weights. And then you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, oh, okay, I want to be like him. Every bodybuilder, every guy wants to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You see him on Terminator with that leather jacket. It looks really cool. Then you see him in pumping iron. And every trainer can relate. They see, oh, I want to be like Arnold, I want to be like Franco Colombo, I want to be like the huge bodybuilders. And slowly, some people, they get that on the mass mode. Some people, they just want to have that very athletic physique, that kind of fit body, right? And that kind of got me into it. And I started lifting and training when I was 14 years old. And after a while, then I realized that, this feels very good. How about I try to teach people and train people? So slowly I started getting more involved, and I was also very much into sports at that time, but it wasn't like that lightning, that light bulb moment where you're like, oh, okay, I want to do this for my career. So but I thought that, okay, maybe this will just help me get by. And then I realized that, actually it's the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more than just bodybuilding. There's a lot more than just building muscles. And during those days, there were many people, the Hokkien Chinese, they would say you look good, but you cannot eat. As in, you're good, you look good aesthetically, but you can't run to save your life. You can't handle your own. You can't hold your weight. You're always injured. You're always sick. Or if I get into a fight with you and you end up losing, even though your muscles are so big, what's wrong with you? And that kind of thing. Then you realize that, hey, hang on a minute, there's this correlation. And having said that, I mean, after 15 years of one of the big discoveries or light bulb moments I have is, who are the fittest people in the world? They are not your athletes. They're not your sports people. They're not the people who train in the gym. They're your everyday people, the farmers, the manual laborers, the construction workers, because they have to subject their bodies to a so-called training in the form of their manual work. And this actually trains up the body. It uses the whole entire body. And not only that, environmental factors are the sun, the rain, the weather, the heat, the humidity, and you got to use your brains. Imagine if you want to try to build there's construction near my house, right? The renovation work near my house, and you've got to try to build, for example, a car park. Right, if you got to build a car park, you got to use all this design, and you need to know how to put the lamppost correctly, how to put the shelter up. You need to screw everything in. It's got to work your brains and your hands. And these are actually the fittest people in the world, in my opinion, because they have to use their brains as well as their body. Most people, when they think of exercise, it's only, I'm only working my body. And some and stop me if you heard of this. I love to go for a run. I love to run because it helps me zone out. That's perfectly fine. Zoning out, running to distract yourself. But as you run, if you actually zone out, what will actually happen to you and your person? Because you might get yourself injured. You might get yourself into trouble without knowing what is actually going on. Funny story. This actually reminds me of what happened to my dad many years ago. I'm not sure if he's listening into this now, but he's a lecturer in Temasek Poly, and he loves to run. Right. There was a time he borrowed my T-shirt, one of my favorite T-shirts, right, to run for this cross country around Temasek Poly. Right, so it's around Bedok Reservoir and around Temasek Poly and around the track. I believe, if I could remember, I'm quite old, recollection, he actually was admitted to hospital after the run for heat exhaustion and was very close to heat stroke. He said he drank water and he just ate normal food and all that. In the back of my mind, I was thinking first thing on my mind was, hey, why you wear my T-shirt? And my T-shirt, the paramedics had to tear my T-shirt because heat stroke. They had to cool his body down and all that. Then, okay, that's the funny part. Okay, but the actual real part was, I asked him, where did he actually pass out? He actually passed out outside the school.
Okay.
But from what I know, people actually said he finished the run. So from the school, the entrance of the school to the track, he was actually running with his mind blanked out. So in a trance. So this actually happens to many people as well, because when they exercise, they just want to numb their minds. They want to put all the stresses of life aside, but they just want to carry on to do the physical activity. And that could be very, very dangerous. You could have fallen into a ditch. You could have pulled a muscle. Things could happen. I mean, because granted, this was a race, so there were people around, there were paramedics and whatnot, and safety crew, marshals and everything. But imagine if you were doing that alone, exercising alone, and you run and then suddenly you zone out and then something happens. What are you going to do? How are you going to? So the idea about when we actually train, I always tell all my clients, right, awareness. You have to be aware. Same thing both of us, we play football all the time. Every time, what's the first thing when somebody passes you the ball? What the first thing you have to do? I mean, that was what I was trained. Look up. Look up, see your surroundings. But most of the time, most people, when they get the ball, what do? They take the ball, they control the ball, and they want to dribble. And then they want to score, and they want to become the next Ronaldo or Messi, right? But the thing is, if I were to look up and I'm aware of my situation, at least in my mind, I know what can I do. It's my is my players, is my friends, are they at a better position? Can I pass the ball to them? Can I score from here? Do I need to run all the way to score a goal? Can I do any other things rather than, there's no awareness, and because there's no awareness, you have actually only one thing to do, and that might get you into trouble. So all these things, like in life, sports is organized chaos, just like in life. So I try to draw all these parallels into your daily lifestyle, and that is kind of like what the gist behind my training, getting people. I meet all sorts of people. Some want to lose weight, some want to get a six pack, some want to look like a bodybuilder, huge. Some people want to be the next Michael Jordan, the next Tiger Woods. Some people, I'm injured, I just want to be able to age gracefully. I don't want to be injured all the time. So you meet all sorts of people, but most of the time they have this idea that exercising is weight loss.
But
you don't need to exercise to lose weight, actually. The reason why we actually put so much emphasis on exercise as a tool for weight loss is because it helps you lose weight. One, it also trains up your mind. It trains your other senses, your bioneurotic feedback, your central nervous system, which a lot of people don't really talk about this, because I don't think it's being put up. If I go on the science, I think it will probably bore all the viewers, right? But the brain is actually a very, very powerful tool. And it's also part of your exercise journey. If you are exercising, it's also part of your lifestyle. People suffer from mental illnesses. People suffer from bipolar personality disorders. People suffer from lack of awareness. Would you believe I had clients who, after working out, go all the way to the car? Hang on, where's my car keys?
Okay.
And then come back to the gym. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I left my car keys behind. After exercise. And imagine if this were to happen to many other things, we'll be also caught up with the hustle and bustle of life. You don't really train your mind. You actually zone out. Things like this will actually happen. And it's not good. It's not beneficial. It will not behoove the person in the long run.
Which is true. Like, interestingly, Jason, we talk about zone out, right? I'm guilty of using the word zone out. But the only thing that I realized that I love to run. I run like 6 times to 7 times a week, and I find time no matter what, even if it's late. But I realized that when I run, though I call myself to be zoning out, but what happens is that my mind becomes a case where I start thinking about, hey, what's next, what I'm going to do. And, sometimes you have things that you want to, your goals, or, what am I supposed to do next, or some challenges that you have that you want to resolve. And I realized that after I come back from the run, I have this level of clarity where I get some kind of solution.
Yes, that's good. That's good. That's actually your body actually responding to the stimulus, to the exercise, your endorphins. So your endorphins actually help you to relieve tension in your body. And because of that, you actually are able to think more clearly. You're able to overcome, you'll be able to approach your problem, your situation, your goals, and try to reach the result that you actually desire because of your run and your exercise. That's actually a good thing. But most people, sometimes they will actually do it too much. Sometimes too much too soon, but too much. And because they run and they go too in-depth into it, they subject the body. And after a while, the mind just switches off. And that's not a good thing. But at least, the good thing for you is because you're running, you're also thinking. Some people don't think. They just run because, the joke is you're running because you're trying to run away from your problems. But the thing is, no matter how much you run, it doesn't help you solve your problem. But at least if you're thinking as you're running, right, you're not really actually zoning out. It actually benefits you in terms of your everyday day-to-day activities. It goes the same for all sorts of exercises, even like say playing sports, playing football, scoring the winning touchdown, scoring the winning goal, or going, which is why I'm so much into performance, because when you are at that level, peak performance, your body actually can respond to the stresses of the given sport, the given game. Right, your body can actually respond in your career, in your life, right? The given job that you do, the task that you have to do, and actually you feel a sense of achievement. You feel very good after that. And
Yep.
this is what we are actually trying to do to empower people. But we have to get people to understand that it is not only the body, but also the mind. And at the same time, doing as much of life, do life as possible. Because most people, when they do a sport, they only play one sport, right? They only play football. They only run. Yeah. Oh, I go yoga and they only do yoga. They don't do other things. Oh, I dance. Oh, I'm comfortable with dancing. So it's like trying to get out of your comfort zone, because your body, your lifestyle requires you to get out of your comfort zone, requires you to change direction, to move in different directions, and that is a lot more beneficial.
Yep. And Jason, before we go into the a bit more into depth of the importance of getting the habit of for fitness, maybe you can talk about who are the people who have been like supporting and traveling with you in this journey, for your.
Well, my parents, they were thinking like, why is my son this crackpot wants to be a trainer? Why can't he become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, go to school, and all that? And they realized that there is a greater goal out there in trying to help people. Achieve, get healthy, and I'm sure they relate to seeing their peers also. My mother has a bad back. She knows like, oh, I got to go and move around. I got to get off my desk. I shouldn't be working so much. As you age, aches and pains will come. How do I overcome these things? My parents, my friends, are people like Dave. We both of us know Dave, my buddy, right? And his family, the Institute of Motion. Because I was at that point, that revelation where there's more to being a trainer than just lifting weights. There's more to being a trainer than just making people lose weight, do HIIT, do metabolic training, puke, and then get better. So I discovered them. I found out from them, and from there I actually learned their methods, their methodology on like moving in different directions, what it means to train the whole entire body, inclusive of your brain, inclusive of your central nervous system. How do you recover? What it means to be active aging, coaching a person rather than just drilling into a person, and so on and so forth. And that actually helped kind of like support my journey. Of course, some of my friends, they were like, oh, Jason, you're going to the gym again. Oh, you're training at the gym again. And people have this misconception, this idea, but none have ever actually asked me, hey, you train so much. How come you're not muscular like a bodybuilder? Because the idea is I want to train to be a lifelong athlete. It's a lifestyle thing. And some people actually say that, people who actually want to start, they say that, oh, I'm a bit too overweight, I'm a bit fat. And I mean, I play with a bunch of guys every Saturday morning. I try to play with them every Saturday morning, the Flag Football Association, right? They play American football. It's not like tackle football where you actually bang into people. We actually pull flags. Right? It's a lot like catching. And it reminds me of my childhood. And some of these guys are big, huge, overweight, and they run around and they are able to move. It's fun. So, and if you watch American sports, even for that matter, you watch any form of sports, some people are actually just big and huge. But how are they able to change of pace, change of direction so quickly, so far? How are they able to run so fast and be able to generate that amount of force? There was a picture on social media of The Rock standing next to Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. And we all know how big and muscular The Rock is. And he looked like an absolute midget in between two of them. And if you look at Shaquille O'Neal, he's big. Some people say he's fat. But can you see how high he jumps? Can you see how fast he moves up and down the court? And an NBA game, they play 82 games a regular season. And then plus the playoffs and the championships and all that. Imagine the amount of stress they subject their body to. And the amount of recovery they actually have to do. And then now we actually have people trying to emulate these people, doing the exercise programs without their backing. That is what we actually try to do, what we do at WellFit. And then I have like, because I know that there is this existing problem, I look for people. I work with a physio. He's been supporting me as well. I look at people around in my church, in my among my friends. I try to see who are these people I can actually link and help others. My masseuse. Everybody wants to find out who my masseuse is, because my masseuse is legendary. I'm not gonna tell so much because he's too popular already, so that I won't get my slot, right? But I'm saying that these people actually have supported me and helped me along, and they've like tried tell me, oh, so and so is injured. Why don't you help this guy? So and so wants to play 18 holes of golf every week. Can you help this person? And so on and so forth. And they actually supported me and built me up, and not just giving me clientele and not just giving me business, but also giving me ideas and concepts of how I actually can better and empower their lives. Because I'm just a coach. I'm just a facilitator. The results are all theirs. But the thing is, I have to get them or coach them to that place where they realize that the result, it all dependent on them.
And the good thing is that I think what you do is collaborate with the different experts. Why? Because you're talking about healthy living is also about when you get injured or preventing yourself from getting any injury or aggravating it. So you actually have masseuse, you actually have a physiotherapist to give you advice in terms of that. And I think that's awesome, because not many fitness trainers that I've known talked about those things, integrating and have a balance in terms of exercise, get fit, and at the same time make sure you don't get injured, and it's a long-term thing. I think that's where collaboration comes in. Now, Jason, let's talk about about getting the habit of training for fitness rather than just weight loss and so on. So, in this case, why do you think it's important for individuals? You talked about aging gracefully and so on, but apart from that, on average, working adults 32 to 40, why do you think it's important for them to get into the habit?
Well, good habits, you can take it for the rest of your life. And let's put it this way, all of us, once you pass the age of 25, your metabolism actually goes down. Your body is always in this state of decay. And one of the reasons why we actually talk about the habit of training or exercising, we're actually trying to prevent intervene this aging process, intervene this decay process. And the body is actually very clever, because when you are exercising, you are actually breaking down your body microscopically, right? And to the point that you actually recover, your body actually gets your body into a better shape than you were yesterday, because it wants to prevent you from decaying even more. So this is, to put it in a very easy term, this is what we call in sports science super compensation. Of course, there are a lot more things you have to do before getting into super compensation. But if I can just put it in a very simple nutshell, your body is trying to compensate for the aging process. So by exercising, by getting the habit of training, you actually super compensate. Your body actually recovers then get better than you were yesterday.
Okay.
So a lot of people, they don't see that. You see things like, sweat is the fat crying, or like, I got to break down my body, I have to train, I have to exercise and all that. Make a guess how much, this is something that I do in my gym also now currently. Make a guess to what level do I train my clients usually? 80%, 90%, 100%?
80%, 75%?
70%.
Okay.
Yeah, your body, you should train to a level where you are able to train comfortably every day. And but you shouldn't be training to the level where you actually feel sore and you feel ache. Right. Okay. Well, you have a kid? You have kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. So imagine you give your kid a very difficult math problem. Your kid are like, this sucks. I'm not going to do this. I hate this. I hate maths because it's difficult. I don't like doing it. But if you keep giving him easy math problems, he keep doing it, and he builds up that level and that base, and he gets better and better and better. And then he can progress on to the next level and the next level and the next level. And then he actually, hang on a minute, this feels good. I actually like it. And you start doing it more and more. And this is actually what we actually try to inculcate into getting people the habit of training for fitness. You don't see it as a grind. Some people say, oh, I'm going to the torture chamber. I'm getting out of bed early in the morning, or it's tiresome, or it's annoying, or I'm subjecting my body, or I'm just exercising so I can eat more. But if you look at it this way, where you are trying to make your body better, and you start with taking very small steps, right? You don't train to soreness. You don't train. It becomes fun. You like it. I believe if you ask your kid and if he likes maths, because he's been doing a lot of maths problems and all that, suddenly like, hey, this feels fun and I want to do more. And that is actually how we started off doing sports. Like, there are sports that I actually don't like. I hate. I used to train with some of my friends who do parkour, and I love parkour. I like watching parkour. We watch Jackie Chan movies, are like, oh, okay, that's very Jackie Chan like. It's very cool. They jump around, climb fences, climb trees, do somersault, do flips. But after doing once or twice, I hated it. But I realized, I thought to myself, the reason why I didn't really like it, even though there are certain things I want to do, like say a backflip or a somersault or a roll, was because it was too much for me. It was too difficult, and I actually dropped out. And most people, when they do, even when they are like doing exercise regularly, they push themselves too hard to the level where they are like, I don't like this because it's too difficult for me. But if you train, like I say, at a 70% and you train every day, then that gets to the next question of, I have no time for training. How do I train every day? Do simple things. Wake up in the morning, lengthen your body, stretch your body, open up your hips, hinge at your hips, like try to move your ankles around, go for a walk up and down the staircase. I love my neighbor. I have this neighbor who's quite obese, right? Stays on the second floor. Every time at the lift, he's like, hey bro, you're a fitness trainer. How do I lose weight? Dude, you stay on the second floor. How about you try to climb up the staircase instead of taking the lift? That is one way, and that's a step to getting weight loss. But instead of like, how to lose weight, people want fast, people want dramatic. Yeah, but they don't understand that it's actually the small little nitty-bitty things that actually help you get to where you are. And that actually builds and inculcates the habit. So, I mean, for a start, if people want, here's a tip. Don't train to your sore, don't train to your busted. I mean, we got people who run marathons, and I know some of my friends, shout out to my friends, some of them who are listening in now, who actually run marathons. Good for you. For me, anything more than 10 kilometers is boring. Right? But they like to run because running long distances, it helps you to zone out, clear your mind. It helps you to work on your persistence, on your willpower. That's good. But are you doing too much on your body if you do that? So how about doing things that are actually better, smaller things, so that you can able to prolong your joints, prolong your body to be able to run longer over a longer duration, like say maybe 20 years, 30 years, rather than, once I reach 50 or I hang up my shoes, I will stop running altogether. And there's a sudden decline. You look at athletes who actually retire, the English Premier League athletes who actually retire. Some of them, the moment they stop training or they stop playing football, they stop going for games, you see their body actually blows up because they actually stop too fast. Right? There is always a progression. There's always a weaning off period. So when you build to that level, you need to build to that level. When you stop, you also need to stop and go down slowly. You cannot go down too fast. And this is actually what we actually want and try to get people to have that idea.
I think definitely it makes a lot of sense. Just like what you say, start easy, simple ones, and then slowly, gradually. Because why? I mean, like it's a good example you gave, right? Max problem. You build the confidence, you feel good,
Yes,
you feel
exactly.
hey, I'm able to do this, and then you want to do more. And once you come to a certain level, you say, hey, this is not challenging enough. Can I do something like one level higher?
Yes,
and
exactly.
It becomes intrinsic motivation where you want to do it yourself, not because the trainer says, hey, I want you to do this. So and slowly, you realize that your level, and when you turn back and look back, you say, wow, what I used to do.
Nobody gets a black belt on the first day.
Yeah. So
Nobody gets a black belt on the first day.
And about loving, right? It's about loving. I used to share this story with my girl, my older girl, when she asked me, hey, why do you love running? And I told her that because in secondary school, I became like, our school cross country runs. I became like 70 plus runner out of the 100 over runners. And I was like, and I wanted to run for school. I was like, how to do that? So when I went for the school training and I asked, I still remember the teacher was actually Mr. Keng. So when I asked him, Mr. Keng, I want to become a good runner. What should I do? Then he just looked at me. He said, can you see the field? I say, yeah. Today you just run one round. It's like, what? Just run one round. So I ran, I came back. I said, okay, you are done for the day. Go back. It's like, what? Then the next day I came. He said, okay, today if you can, try to increase to 2 rounds. And he made me do that until to the point that once I hit about like 2 months, right, I was able to run like 15, 20, 25 rounds without any issues. And when I asked him, he told me, because if I tell you run 15 rounds or 20 rounds on the first day, you will never come back.
Exactly.
And I never understood that until years later.
Yeah.
So
it's very, very smart. Your teacher is very, very smart.
Yeah. And I guess these are the experience lot, right? And today, you are putting this in your programs and you are, talking to people about this. Now, so there's one more thing that I would like to check with you. Right now, now that we talked about a lot of them who are not able to, they say that got no time and everything. I guess with this mindset, I think there's no reason for you to say no time, because it's like just walking that flight of steps. Start somewhere.
Anything small. There's this saying, sitting is the new smoking.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you the science is people who actually go to I read somewhere that people actually go out into outer space. When they come back to Earth, or work in, like, say, a 3-month program, when they come back to Earth, they actually lose a part of they lose a few years of their lives, because there's weightlessness. There is no gravity acting on their bodies. So when we are sitting down, we are actually not subjecting gravity on our bodies. And our bodies don't get stronger, our bones don't get stronger, especially for women who work in front of a desk, your osteoporosis. Oh, I'm scared of the sun, I don't want to have sun, I don't want vitamin D. Now we have COVID, right? The more vitamin D you get, less likelihood, it's been proven, less likelihood that you will be exposed to COVID, right? I'm scared of the sun and all that. If you don't subject gravity weight-bearing exercises on your body, right, your body will actually not get better in the long run. I have a few friends who are pretty fit also, but they only swim. And they always say, hey, why am I always injured? Swimming is a great form of exercise. But when you're swimming, you're not subjecting gravity on your body. There's this sense of weightlessness. And I haven't gone through the science. I usually do research on all these things, on all these movement patterns and all that. But we realize that if you sit down too much, you don't move around enough, you are actually dying faster. So simple things like climbing a flight of stairs, parking at a car park further away and then walking over, all these things are actually very beneficial. I always share this story with many of my clients. What is fitness? They'll tell me 6-pack, running 2.4, being able to do chin-up, I can complete a triathlon. I say, no. What is fitness? If I see a bus, I'm carrying a heavy backpack, I got like 10 people blocking my way, I'm late for work. Oh shit, I need to catch the bus. How am I able to run and chase after the bus, reach the bus, get onto the bus, and not die, and not pass out? That is fitness to me. Yeah, that is fitness to me. Right? Because you need that speed. You need to be carrying something, a load and a backpack, and our army guys will all know. The reason why you run 2.4 is because you're trying to avoid all the like say if they drop a mortar, you can actually avoid the blast radius and all that. So all these things are actually, if you put it into real life, these things are actually happening. And fitness is not like, you can look good, I can look really, really good, but I can't do anything. I'm a wax statue, I'm a wax museum, there's no point. And
it does correlate to this what I'm doing, because I meet clients and sometimes I move around, like after this live chat I still got to go around and meet a couple of clients,
for sure.
Guys, and and I realize that when I keep myself fit and I make sure that I do my exercise regularly, I feel the end of the day I don't feel tired. I feel that I got the energy. And I used to have this mindset, or even people told me, how are you able to run like 5 kilometers, do your exercise, and then still be having that energy? I say no. Actually, by doing that training in the morning, I feel that I'm more lively compared to those days where I don't do it and I feel much more lethargic. I don't know how it works, but it's like that's the reality. So
it's your hormones. Your hormones are actually helping you kickstart your energy levels. So the more, which is why some people actually exercise in the morning, and they love to exercise in the morning because they've realized that they can do a lot more things in the later part of the day, because they have that energy, they build up the energy, and they are able to release the energy. The body releases out a lot of hormones, and hormones are actually a very interesting thing, right? When, especially when you exercise. I mean, all of us have dealt with, no, this is not a sexist remark, but all of us have dealt with women before. Usually when they have the time of the month, it's not because they are unreasonable, but it's because the hormones are actually controlling their thought process. So it's a similar thing. Your hormones are actually very powerful. If you don't regulate your hormones well, your body will not be able to function. If you like wake up early in the morning, you go and exercise, your endorphins start firing. You're like suddenly like, hey, hang on a minute. Wow, today was a very productive day. At the end of the day, you look at yourself, I couldn't believe I did all these things. Why? Because you actually woke up in the morning to actually go and exercise. You woke up in the morning to actually go and do something small, maybe a walk, maybe go to the park. Singapore Active SG has like created a lot of like healthy lifestyle areas. Even HDB, they housing blocks, they've got like those stones on those stone parks. I usually tell my clients, oh, I've got nothing to do, right? Why don't you wake up early in the morning, just 5 minutes, go downstairs and just step on the stones. It's like foot reflexology. It helps improve your circulation. You feel very good. You go back, you have a cold shower, and you're ready for work. Rather than you're like, I wake up. What's the first thing I do? Oh, no, I'm late for work. I try to snooze 5 more minutes. Oh, I grab that cup of coffee. I grab my clothes. I don't shave. I don't brush my teeth. I rush out of the house. I chase after the bus. Oh, no, I'm late for the bus. I run after the bus. I miss the bus. And then everything snowballs. At the end of the day, you go back home like, my life sucks. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of the composition that we used to write in primary and secondary school, right?
Yes.
When everything went wrong and you realize that you start wrong and everything just...
Exactly, yeah. But don't forget, it just starts with a very small thing. Stepping on a stone park, foot reflexology stone park, waking up early in the morning. Even if you go to the grass patch, the morning dew, and then you just step on it, makes you feel good, makes you feel awake, and then you can get on with your day. And that's fantastic.
True. I definitely agree with that. And Jason, let's talk about Real Fit. You talk about the inspiration, the stories and your experiences with your grandmother, with your uncle, and the difference that you want to make. We know the inspiration behind Real Fit. But currently, I got a question for you. I'm sure you actually have programs for individuals, but now not everybody is the same, right? You were telling. So, what are the kind of clients you have? I'm sure, not all of them come and say, Jason, I want to have some kind of a weight loss, or I want to have six packs. I'm sure you have different kinds of clients you work with. So can you give some examples? Now, one of them I can think of is Keep Fit, right?
Yeah.
So how, what kind of programs do you recommend to this group of people?
Okay, usually when I have one of the main differences when I approach a client or approach a group of people training is I always try to find out what makes them, right? You got to see, they come in, I had a long day at work. They come in, I got bad posture. Am I tired from work? Or they come in early in the morning, or I didn't sleep well last night. And you always ask them how they are. You look at their movement pattern. Are they dragging their feet? Are they walking, landing on their heels? Are they slouched? And you try to find out what is their movement pattern. How do they move? What is their feeling like? If you're stressed, are you able to move well? If you're relaxed, are you able to move better? And from there, we actually try to see what they have been doing over the past few days. And from there, we can actually find out a base where we can actually work the program on. Like I see their posture, is their shoulders slumped to one side? Do they have like one arm longer than the other, one leg longer than the other? Most people, when they stand, they always stand with their feet this way. Instead of standing straight, they walk like a duck. Some people, they can't squat, some people can't squat to save their lives. We use a sit-down toilet too much. Now they realize that actually a squatting toilet is a lot better than a sitting-down toilet, right? So things like that, we actually find out what is their everyday lifestyle, and from there we actually plan and design a program for them. Because all of us, I can have a husband and wife, both of them pretty fit, but both of them come from different personalities, different backgrounds, right? And how am I able to get them to be able to do all this together, exercise together, build up interpersonal relationships, interaction, encourage each other, at the same time empower them to be able to move more efficiently. The idea is about getting them to move efficiently. So, and the more efficient you move, the more energy you burn. And the more energy you burn, hopefully, barring diet and nutrition aside, hopefully the more weight you also lose, if that is what you're actually looking at. And having said that, looking at this movement pattern, it also helps if you are injured. If you have already an existing condition, you're not injured, but you're like, I twisted my ankle a few years ago, or like, I've been sitting down too much, I have a bad back, or I ran after my dog, or I ran after my daughter, I tried to pick up my daughter, my back feels funny, I think I pooped something. And I have to look at your body structure, how you move, what you actually are, the integrity of your body. And then I tell you, okay, this is how we're going to approach training. This is how we're going to approach exercise, and get you to be moving in the right direction. Rather than like, there are many exercises, exercise programs, right? You got your HIIT, your CrossFit, your HIIT, your F45s and whatnot. Those exercises are good. But how many of us are actually ready for that? You might feel good after exercising because there's this camaraderie and there's this friends and we work out, we train together in a team. But am I aware? Previously in the beginning of the show, I was talking about awareness. Am I aware of my current situation? You need to have a coach to be aware of where you are now and what you can do to progress. And this is where I come in. This is what my main programs is, to be able to coach and guide people, rather than I give you a cookie cutter program, or I see something that's nice on Instagram or YouTube, and then I just throw it on to you. Right? Because I need to find out what are your weaknesses, build on them. And the main idea of a trainer, my belief, main idea of a trainer is, you might, some people are shocked when I say this, is to build an environment for you to fail. But that environment has to be very safe. A safe environment for you to fail, right? Because by doing that, I'm subjecting your body to learning. I'm subjecting your body to progress. Then your body actually super compensates, if I can use the word, builds back up and recovers. And you don't neglect or forget that recovery process as well. So that is one of our programs. I mean, I have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in my gym also. I look at Pilates as one of the programs I'm currently trying to start. There is this program called Animal Flow, which I'm actually in talks with a few people to want to bring in. I look at programs in my gym and my facility, and I try to advocate people to do things that are authentic to them. To don't just follow the next fashion. To do things that, which is why we call it real fit. It has to be real with yourself and what is really actually authentic to you. What do you really feel like? Not what Instagram or YouTube is telling you, not what marketing and fashion is telling you, but actually what do you really feel like doing? How could it help you be relevant in your lifestyle? Or what is really, really effective? Everybody says that, Jiu-Jitsu is one of the most beneficial and one of the most effective martial arts. Okay, good. Bring it into my gym. I want people to learn it, and I want people to learn how to grapple, handle your body weight, handle another person's body weight. Why Jiu-Jitsu? Smaller people are able to overcome bigger people. In life, a smaller person can actually overcome a bigger problem, a bigger challenge, and that actually trains up your mind. It's a thinking sport. Just like a lot of my friends, I always ask my friends, why do you watch American? They ask me, why do you watch American football? I always ask them, come, let's watch. Take leave on Monday morning and watch American football with me. Yeah, it's boring. Too many rules. Yeah, but within those rules, why is boring? there are a lot of plays. Plays are strategies. And all these things are actually very effective. And all these plays and strategies actually benefit you in real life. So much so that some people, companies, big CEOs, MNCs, they are actually looking for ex-players because of how to manage. Because in an American football team, there are 53 players, right? And how to the coach is like a CEO, and you got to manage all the players, you got to manage all the teams. My dad's a human resource manager, so I'm thinking from that head, right? You got to manage the team, just like in your life, you got so many tasks and situations. You got to manage everything, and you got to think, how do I strategize? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So it also helps in your real life. So you always draw the parallel from sports into real life and into your training and to your exercise. And that actually is what starts making my exercise programs different. Well, we don't want to follow fads. We don't want to follow fashion. We want to follow what's real, what's authentic for your body, and what's the most beneficial. Efficiency always has to have that form of awareness. If you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going to go. And that's why...
And it's quite interesting when you're talking about, being practical in the way you do, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you train, whether it's in the gym or, whenever you're doing anything that is towards your health and fitness, it should still be helpful to your day-to-day life that you're doing.
Yes.
And that's what
Definitely.
fitness was all about, right? Like,
Yes.
I used to have this thought, like, those days, many, many years ago, like I've been to countries like India. When I go to, certain parts of the places, I mean, these guys I'm talking about are like what you said, farmers. They work hard. And the thing is that they're damn fit. They're really fit,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they don't go to gyms.
Yeah.
And they're really fit. And when I talk to them, I realize that it's because the day-to-day work itself is actually getting them fit. And when I say fit, I'm talking about physically they look really good.
Yeah.
And they are really healthy and really strong. And I'm talking about guys who are like even 60 years old, 60 plus, and you see them really fit. And I realized that it's lifestyle, it's how do you use whatever fitness you have in your practical use of whatever you do day to day.
Yeah, exactly.
And that makes a lot of sense. And I think something I will say that well, in one way, in my own personal opinion, Jason, the only difference between, or biggest difference between you and any other people in the fitness industry, though people can say there are many, is that you don't compete with other competitors or see them as competitors, but you try to be different, more practical.
More practical. I mean, I'm always happy to collaborate and to share ideas, share concepts. I mean, now given this climate of the internet, everybody is with all this negativity. I'm better than you. You're better than me, and people are killing just because I share a different view. I'm always open for a conversation. I know some people, I've gotten into debates before with some of my friends over things like CrossFit, over HIIT, over yoga. Things were popular. And I always try to look at things from a very balanced point. I might be right. I might be wrong. But let's have this open conversation. And then we can try to collaborate and try to understand where each people are coming from. Right, rather than I cancel you, or you're actually absolutely wrong. My program is better than your program, or you should be training my way, my style because it works. And no, let's try to have a balance point. The Institute of Motion has this thing called the 4 quadrants, and they try to put everything into 4 quadrants. In terms of exercise, diet, nutrition, recovery, and everything. But the idea is because we all move in many different directions, and we try to classify things in 4 quadrants. But if you notice, 4 quadrants is already balanced. If I take away 1 quadrant, if I'm doing 1 quadrant more than the others, everything else becomes very unbalanced already. So we actually have these 4 quadrants. You try to balance things out. And when you balance things out, things become a lot more peaceful, a lot more effective, a lot more robust, a lot more vibrant, rather than you do one and everything becomes very lopsided. There's this program, there's this cartoon called Saitama, One Punch Man. A lot of people actually watch it, especially during circuit breaker, COVID time. Everybody was doing it. This guy, in the comic, he became the world's strongest man because he did, I think for 3 years, I can't remember. For 3 years, he did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 10-kilometer run, 100 squats, no shower. Shower with cold water and no aircon. And he became the world's strongest man. Yeah, but if you look at that program, it looks quite cool. I mean, for every PTI, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 100 push-ups, this guy's going to be really fit. fantastic, perfect. But if you look at the program, it's actually unbalanced. You're pushing a lot, but where's your pulling? Where you have pulling muscles on your body. So we look at a person, we see how, and we see what the person has been doing, and we try to balance out, and we try to help. And that makes a person a lot more effective, makes a person more real fit, as compared to like, I just do one thing. And every time we always say, oh, bodybuilders, oh, they look good, but they can't run. So you don't want that.
True. And so, Jason, I've been to your gym before. I've you still train with our common friends, right? Rizal, the rest of the guys. If let's say any of our viewers, and I'm sure a lot of them who are looking into avenues to look into ways to get fit, to train up, and like what you say, to be interested to know more about the programs that you do. Now, how can they contact you to know more?
Well, they can always email me. They can always look up the email is there. They can always send me an email, drop me an email. I'll reply to them as soon as possible. They can always look at our Instagram page on the Facebook is actually tied up to the Instagram, right? The Instagram page, RealFit SG, right? That actually you can actually contact us from there. There's a fair bit of information of some of the exercises we do and some of the reasons why we do what we do. I mean, in all essence, where in anything in life, whatever you do, you must always ask yourself why. Why are you actually doing it? And when you discover the why, it actually empowers you to do better. And that helps a lot. That actually makes life a lot more interesting as well. Rather than just I just follow blindly, and you don't want, because the last thing you want to do is exercise and then injure yourself, and then you say, oh, okay, this sucks, I don't want to do this is a waste of my time, or like suddenly I give up suddenly because I'm having a kid, my children has PSLE, I need to stop exercising, because life goes on, and you always talk about helping yourself first. When a plane is about to crash and the air pressure, the ventilator comes up, do you help somebody wear the ventilator, or do you wear it for yourself first before you help somebody else? You got to help yourself first. So the main idea is you got to help yourself first. Do things that are really authentic, do things that are actually real for you before you start jumping on doing other things or like following. I mean, it's not wrong. Some of my friends who are CrossFitters actually ask me to do CrossFit with them, which I am thinking of. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I have to reach that level first. And I can't do it, and it's not sustainable to be doing it every day. Mark Wahlberg is the owner of F45, or he bought a share of F45, but he doesn't do F45 every day. You look at his Instagram, he's in his house, in his own gym, doing his own workouts as well. So you have to have balance, and this is what we want to get people to balance out. And people tell me, I don't like the gym, I don't like to exercise, whatever. If the last hour, whatever I've been saying doesn't make any sense to you, they will ask me, how can I benefit my life? Active lifestyle, play a sport, play more sports, go out with your kids. If you have a dog, walk your dog, get a ball, throw the ball to your dog, make your dog run back and forth. Your dog is exercising, but so are you. Play with your kids, go to the playground. Sometimes I train at Bettery Reservoir at the playground. There is this Indian lady, she has her two sons playing in the sandpit. And she herself, she's doing all her exercises, her yoga in her sari and all that. And I'm very inspired. Nobody taught her. And it's not intense, hard exercises. It's just moving around. It's just getting her body awaken the senses. And that is actually very beneficial. That will take you through a long, long time. That's sustainable.
And thanks, Jason. I think this is awesome, because this program itself, we always talk about people need to empower themselves to live life by their design, right? And I think instead of the normal, get fit, get your abs and lose weight, I think today you have shared a lot of things about, aging gracefully, being fit so that you can do the normal things that you need to do day to day in your life, and I think that's important. And I think it's really awesome. And so for the viewers out there, my suggestion, knowing Jason personally, feel free, email him, contact him, have a chat with him. because I think this is one person that you really want to have an open conversation to really find out what would be suitable for you. And I think Jason will definitely get back to you. And Jason, with all this sharing, now I just want to ask you this question, which I always like to ask all our guests. What do you want Jason to be remembered for?
Oh, okay. Since all my life, I always want to be known to. Both of us are Liverpool fans, and we're all inspired by many Liverpool fans are inspired by Bill Shankly. And if you go to Anfield, you see there's a statue of him, and below the statue, he made the people happy. Same for me. I want to be known for making people happy. I look at people, celebrities, people in the fitness industry. I look at some of my mentors, my good friends, and I realize that there's one common aspect. They always make people happy. Happy not in the sense of like what they want, but actually what they need. What is beneficial to them in the long run. So that's the most important thing, making people happy. Of course, it's very difficult, right, to make everybody happy. Right, but as long as I tried, I did my best. I did my job in trying to at least put you on that stepping stone or making yourself find purpose in your life. I will be very, very, very gratified, and that is what I want to be remembered for.
All right, great.
I mean, if you play sports, if I were to score the winning goal, and none of you actually score, I'm sure you guys will be happy as well. So it's the same thing, making people happy.
And I think it's cool, being very clear of your purpose, right? Knowing that you want to be remembered, Jason, the guy who always makes people happy because of making a difference to them, making an impact to the people. Live healthy, thanks, Jason. And any word of advice for viewers who are currently engaged? I mean, there were a lot of things that you shared, tips and everything, but any specific advice or suggestion that you want to give to all those viewers? Let's talk about those who are. Well, there are two categories that I look at. One who are thinking, it's time for me to start and do something because I got no time and so on. Or the other one who's like, hey, I've been injured. I've not been doing this. I used to be fit. What can I do? Any specific advice that you have?
Start moving. Keep moving. Start moving. Move. Start small and take small steps. Simple things like if you watch TV, it's an advertisement, do a bit of squats or raise your legs up and down, right? Stand up and sit down. You don't even have to do a proper squat. Just stand up and sit down, get off your butt, get off your chair. And that's very beneficial. If you go out, if you walk around, walk to the toilet, if you live in a semi-detached house, you stay in the double-story condo, walk downstairs, get a cup of water, walk back up. So all these things help improve your circulation. All these things help get your body a lot better. Rather than just not doing anything at all. That's my one advice. And do everything in different, because if you do that, you're doing it in many different directions. You're embracing what your body is actually created for, to express yourself and move around in different directions as well.
Cool. And thanks, Jason. I think it's been an awesome session today. I, for one, I've learned a lot of things. We had a chat before, and you were telling Sakti, you're working too hard. I remember the conversation a year back. It's like, it's time for you to really make sure you don't get injured and everything. And I'll be having a chat with you definitely after this. And for the viewers out there, friends, colleagues that I know, a lot of you, I think if you are looking for options, again, I would like to strongly recommend, email to Jason. I'll just put up his email address again. Email to Jason, contact him, just find out, just find out if you have any concerns, just have a chat with him. He's an awesome chap. I enjoy talking to him on my,
thank you.
So, email him, find out more about what Real Fit can do to you or what Jason can help you out. And with that, once again, Jason, thank you so much. And
thank you for having me. I hope your viewers benefit from this. Get as many takeaways from this as possible. Even if you don't agree, at least think about it and start asking questions and then find out. And that's the most important thing. That is all these questions will actually benefit you and actually help you start thinking, and then you actually come up with something that will benefit your life.
Yeah, definitely. And 11 a.m. We started a live chat 11 a.m. So there have been people who have been also telling me. I'm sure you went through that. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
Sakti, why 11 a.m. It's working
Yeah.
hour. We are out of circuit breaker. But the whole idea is that at 8 p.m. we usually do a watch party. We'll put up the videos again, and that's the beauty of having live chats, right? You can
Yes.
see it again anytime at your convenience. So I'm sure the viewers, just like myself, have got a lot of value. Now the only question is when you're going to start moving, right? Take action.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. Yeah. Correct.
All right. With that, Jason, keep in touch. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you so much. Right.
All right. And we will keep in touch and we'll meet up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Definitely.
All right.
Definitely. Right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. I think it was an awesome show. I mean, I had a good time talking to Jason, and wow, my perspective within that last 1 hour have changed. I've been running and I'm telling myself I'm keeping fit and so on. But, now, it made me think, should I really start thinking about, how do I prevent injuries? Because once you are at a certain age, you realize that injuries do come in. And maybe it's the background, me being in the military, I tend to take it for granted. You say, yeah, it's okay, I'll move on. But it takes a bit longer to recover, and that also snowballs to the fact that I got to stop training for a few days, and that affects. So I think all of us are different, and I think in order for us to live a life by our own design, to be healthy, to enjoy the small little things in life, like whether it's with our kids, doing the things that we love. I think it's about being healthy. It's about being able to do things because we are physically able to do that. So feel free again, to see the video later. Contact Jason, and I hope this would have benefited you. And as what I always say, thank you, because all live shows and podcasts and whatever I do is never possible without the viewers, you. So thank you so much, for joining in, and thank you for all the comments and feedback. And do feel free, even after the live chat, you have any other feedbacks, you have anyone that you would like to personally recommend to come up on the live chat, just contact me. And you know my contact, and I'm always on Facebook. So contact me and tell me. So with that, this is your one and only Shakti, bidding you farewell for Thursday. It's going to be Friday tomorrow, and then weekends. And I'm getting more excited with the English Premier League going on. So weekends has never been the same. So I'm enjoying myself. So with that, all right, wishing all of you an awesome Thursday and the upcoming weekends. See ya.